let me just briefly talk about the solidarity movement. The solidarity movement started from a place called Gdansk. And this basically led to a kind of a wave of change uh, within Central and Eastern Europe, and subsequently, then, of course, the international environment also changed and brought an end to the Cold War. So that, I think, solidarity movement, being able to restructure the financial and economic infrastructure of Poland, I think that was a tremendous job, and they succeeded and did it extremely well. And then the political aspect, of course, is the transition that they were going through uh, du- during this period. Nowadays, a trend towards more realism rather than liberalism. I think this is what he says, that those days of liberal, well, he says hegemony are over. And now, of course, the policies are more or less based on realistic assessment of your own interests. And this is how you pursue your international relations and foreign relations. It's uh, indicated in a lot of initiatives that have been taken by a number of countries. So, I mean, it's a pity that that particular thing, solidarity, that spirit, I don't know if internationally it is still there or not. That is one thing. And the other thing that I would also like to mention about is the fact that there are a lot of opportunities between Pakistan and Poland. A lot of things can be done. Uh, Poland, I think, is a member of BRI also, which is Belt and Road Initiative, and CPEC is a very important part of it. So, infrastructure, energy projects, and connectivity, I think, is extremely important for Poland. Then, Poland is also, I don't know how many of people you would know, is in the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank also. If I'm not mistaken, it is the founding member. So, why I'm referring to these things is that these present a lot of opportunities for both Pakistan and Poland to tap into the resources that are available. Poland, because of its central locations, you can have warehouses for distribution of commodities and products all over Europe. And if the rail connection or road connection from here to Poland becomes, well, via, I would say, Eurasian region, I think that also will provide a good opportunity for trade to take place between Pakistan and Poland in a much faster way. So that is one area where I think probably we should explore and see how basically this can be done. Um, the other aspect, of course, is the education side. Everyone has talked about it. Air Commodore Turovich and his team basically taught in the Karachi University as well. So they have basically not only led to the building of institutions in Pakistan and a world class air force, but they also have been able to build capacity. So I think we need to revive that. People to people contact and more exchange of students. I think this is something that is possible. Then I think Bakhtavri Saab very briefly referred to the special economic zones. So the special economic zones are important, and both Pakistani and Polish business community can explore the possibility of setting up joint ventures, and this would provide easy access to the markets in the region. I think there's a good deal of potential to do that. The other thing that I think probably would also like to mention is about the programs which have been launched by the present government. I mean, the SARS program, and then Digital Pakistan Initiative, and then you have Jawan Pakistan, which is basically meant for youth. And essentially, these are people oriented programs. So, if Polish experts can somehow pitch in insofar as training of people is concerned, and also in giving some providing some expertise so that people can really make good use of whatever capacity they have. I think this would be a very important achievement as far as we are concerned, and a very important contribution, if not the same as that of Air Commodore Torovich, a very, very important contribution it will be indeed. The other thing is about the European Union, which has already been said, and perhaps Horizon 2020 program is there. Then now you're going to have 21-27 program. The possibility of funding, I think, should be available, and experts in Pakistan and in Poland can probably explore the possibility of tapping into those resources, particularly insofar as education is concerned. The other thing is the big agenda of the United Nations, which is about 2030 global development agenda and the sustainable development goals. And there is a lot of talk about having inclusive societies, inclusion, not leaving anyone behind. So development is another area where I think probably one can focus on, for example, the expertise that probably in controlling the environmental degradation or climate change or water conservation, those aspects are concerned. Maybe perhaps we can benefit from the Polish expertise as well. I think is coal being faded out? But you have a good technology of coal gasification. So if we can benefit from the technology that you have without really damaging the environment, that also is going to be very useful. So I'm really grateful to Sultan Sahibzada Sahib, because Sahibzada Sultan Sahib, for having organized this activity and for having invited me. And Jagiellonian University is one of the oldest universities in Europe, if I'm not mistaken.
1364.
1364, and it was the queen, I think, probably, who established that university, yeah? A woman. So that university also has kind of a museum, which is Copernicus Museum, and it shows how interaction between people here in Poland and the Arab countries, how it was there, and how the scientific contributions were made by those people at that time. So I think there is a lot that we can explore insofar as Poland is concerned, and Polish people can explore a lot about Pakistan, going back to the historical contributions that have been made, people who lived over here, people who spent entire life over here and died over here, and they're buried over here. So I think this is something, a very solid foundation on which we can continue building our relations. So thank you very much.